spider. This is how big our huntsmans are. So just saying.
Oh my God, actually,
It's like a little
Huntsman
puppy.
spider in Australia. That's really freaking scary. And I don't like
Little
that one bit.
puppy. Is that how big our huntsmans are? So just saying.
Oh, there we go. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome,
Hello,
welcome
hello,
to
hello.
the show. Gosh, we are here on Walking in the Shadows, Cryptid Women's Society. My name's Lisa.
I
Hello.
am Juliet.
Hello.
Hello.
And today Juliet has brought a special friend.
I have.
A special friend.
I brought a puppy. An Australian puppy.
A spider puppy. Oh my, and this is actually true to size. Okay. True to size, giant huntsman spider. That is not okay.
What we have crawling up our walls. Yeah, no.
That's not fun. Yeah, no, actually though, this is the thing, right? I did an interview on the Cryptid podcast with Dano the other day, and he was talking about his fear of spiders. And I was like, dude, you cannot be coming to Australia. Maybe New Zealand, but not Australia.
Depends on where you go. Just don't go into my woodshed because that's terrifying in there.
Just don't go to the woodshed. Don't be going to the woodshed now.
Don't go into the woodshed. That is not a good. Did I tell you about the woodshed? No?
No.
Oh, okay. So
Oh my God.
it's not really a woodshed. It's a shed out the back, right? So we've moved house. So we're sorting out containers and kids' stuff that we can put into said shed out the back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went in there. There was a few spiders in there, looking around going, oh, yeah, this should be all right. So I started moving some of the landlord stuff which he had left in there. So I was moving it off to the corner so I could put some pallets down for our stuff. Moved one big concrete slab and this big giant wolf spider ran out. I was like, oh my God. And the kids are like, but he just kind of ran away and went down the side. We're like, okay, he's cool. He's gone. That's our spider. Let's just move up. No. It gets way worse. So the kids are standing in the doorway. I pick up the bottom slab, about 7 giant wolf spiders. And then the worst thing is, as I'm holding this giant one, a wolf spider about this big started running up my leg.
That's not okay. That's never okay.
I can't throw the concrete. So I'm like trying to kick this thing up, put down this slab. Eventually he got just up to my knee and I managed to get him off. I was like, we're out of here.
That is not okay. And that's not okay for anyone ever.
No.
In the world of ever.
No. So I basically came back with every spray we had in the house and just like the entire shed has just been sprayed. And
no, that's
so I just said to Kat, so we can't put the kids' stuff in there. There's just way too many spiders. It's just, because it's not all enclosed and like there's gaps. And
I'd like to just tell everyone that is Australia. That is literally Australia. That is what people all over Australia have to deal with on an everyday basis. Now, if you're in New Zealand, sure, you go walking around and you can pick up. No, there's shitloads of spiders here too, but there's nowhere near as big as that little baby puppy she's got.
Oh my God, yeah. It was like a whole family, just like they've just been living there and living their best life in the shed. So, and because we're very close to a heritage park, we're basically very close to like a big wildlife area. So that basically brings up the whole amount of spiders and critters that you get. So nice and quiet out here, but then we have to deal with all the other stuff. So.
Never. Oh my God, thank God. See, look, I would much rather talk about witches and Halloween today than I would about spiders. And once upon a time, Juliet made me do an episode on supernatural spiders and spiders in paranormal spaces. And I had the worst nightmares for about 3 days. And so no, we're done with that.
Yeah, I did. But I can remember finding a giant spider in our compost bin. And this thing was huge. Like her body was as wide as a credit card. Like she was massive. Like she was this big. And like we left her. Like we kind of put her back and we're like, you can have your space. But I remember waking up that night having a nightmare that she was on my pillow beside my face. I don't normally get nightmares about the spiders, but yeah, that one definitely hit me.
Not okay. It's like,
Her body was like the size of a big mouse, like a big fat mouse. That was terrifying.
No, it's like actually, I told this story to someone like yesterday. Do you remember living in the Nio house when Xena or Toby brought in that giant like rat?
Oh yeah.
And it was so huge that we put a washing basket over the top of it, and it was pushing the washing basket around. And so we put books on top of it to stop it from moving because it was so massive.
Yeah, all the good old bush rats, in New Zealand are massive, massive.
Yeah. Hey, happy Halloween spooky season. We are in October now. Juliet's back. What up, Juliet? Oh, she wasn't with us last week.
Way too much.
Yeah, she's working
I apologize, everybody.
Thank you. I did tell her that I was quite pissed off with her lately because she's ditching us to make money somewhere else, okay? Pouring herself around.
Oh, God. I wish I was doing this instead, but, you know.
Yeah, so feel free to drop in the comments how displeased you are at Juliet's behavior, at the fact that she is leaving us high and dry at the moment, okay? So you just drop them in the comments and let her know how disgusted you are at her. Or maybe how happy you are at her being back, because we love her.
Oh, yeah, that would be nicer.
Whatever. Sure. Go with the nice option then.
Yeah, it's Halloween. Give me some spooky shit.
Hey, so before we get into witches and Halloween, the real story, the meaning behind it all, the symbology, I'm super excited about it. Jules, tell everyone what they should do on our wonderful YouTube channel.
Please hit subscribe. Yeah, if you love our content, you love what we're doing, help us play. Yeah, just hit subscribe. And it will really help the algorithm for our channel, and just then you get to find all the good juicy stuff, and then when we do some extra bits, you get to find those ones too.
Yeah. And speaking of extra bits, man, I have been like booking myself out left, right, and center. I have got interviews coming into the members portal, VIP exclusive interviews from amazing people in the industry. These will come into Shadow Talk Unfiltered, which is in our members portal. And to get a membership to watch those and be right on scene with them, ask questions, get real-time answers, all you have to do is go over to cryptidwomensociety.com and you can become a truth seeker right now. Super easy. You can cancel for free if it's not your jam. But if it is your jam, you get to hang out with me, that lady there, that I'm not quite sure.
I'm down.
Wherever she is, you get to hang out with Jules as well. And more importantly, you get to be a part of an amazing community of women, like-minded women who are super talented, super interesting, researched, exploring, doing all the boots on the ground field research as well. Plus all of the other women that love to sit on their armchairs in their lounge and watch everyone doing the stuff. So if you've ever seen the likes of Brittany Barbieri on the Lost Monster Files, she is part of our community. You can come into our portal and ask her questions directly, and she will talk to you straight through that portal. You can come and ask questions to all of our interviewee guests. So that's going to be super exciting, and you get to be part of the crew, and that's the most important thing.
So then you get to hang out with us at weekends when we come over and go on investigations with us.
Oh, yeah.
And Juliet, so many more things.
Juliet, have we booked our very first international expedition?
Have we?
Yes, we have. Where are we going in November 2026?
I think it's this little place with like these little triangle things, and I'm not. Oh my God! Now we're going to think we're part of the Illuminati.
Yeah, not again. That's twice.
We mean Egypt, guys. Sorry.
We're going to Egypt. Okay, we're going to Egypt with the tiny.
I was going to have fun with that one.
We're not part of the Illuminati or the Freemasons, but we are going to Egypt in 2026 next November, and we are taking members of the society with us. It's going to be epic.
Yeah. We are going into some spooky places and some off the kind of beaten track places. And we're going to be visiting a temple where they have seen ghost pharaohs. So,
oh my God,
so
it's going to be mint. Can you imagine? Think about this real quick, right? And this is my a little bit of my concern about going and doing this experiment. I've been thinking about it. Imagine being deep inside one of the temples or one of the pyramids or whatever in a tiny little tunnel, and then something comes up and touches your hair behind you, and it's not a person, it's something you can't see, and you can't get out of there because you're in a freaking tunnel. That's yeah, that's my biggest concern. The ghosts are gonna
mine is taking toilet paper because we're going to need it. These people that have no idea, yeah, you need toilet paper.
I'm scared about the ghost pharaohs touching my hair, and Juliet's like, don't worry, I've got a roll of toilet paper for you. I can fix that problem.
We can trade toilet paper. Literally.
We'll pay in toilet paper. Yeah, so we've got some very exciting things going on, and if you want to be a part of it, please get in it now. But today we are talking about witches and their connection to Halloween. Yeah, absolutely. Hocus Pocus, by the way, is one of my favorite movies. I love it.
We will be talking about little pop culture and like some little witchy movies. And oh yeah, Hocus Pocus to me is just the funnest. I also have not seen the second one yet. So yeah, that is our plan with the kids this year, because they're kind of a bit older now, whereas before they were kind of finding it a little bit terrifying. But you know,
I refuse. I've seen the first and the second with Bette Midler, but I refuse to watch the new one. Remember, they brought a new one out a couple of years ago or whatever it was, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Hocus Pocus 2, you mean?
Yeah. No, no, they did 2 back in the like 90s or whatever, or the early 2000s, and they've brought out a new one, I'm sure. Tell me.
Yeah, no, there's one that's just been released, but it's got all of them in it.
Oh, is that number 2 then? Yeah. But I thought they'd made 2 like back in the day.
No, just one. There were kind of other people kind of doing like kind of trying to do the same thing. But
maybe that's where I'm wrong.
But there's only one Hocus Pocus, and then they've just remade the second one.
Okay. I refuse to watch number 2 at the moment. I'm like, yeah. But maybe after this show we will go and have a wee watch and then do a review. Oh, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
We should watch it and review it at the same time.
Hey, so also everyone that's listening on the Cult of Conspiracy podcast, we just want to say big ups and hello, and thank you to everyone that's come over to hang out on our channel. We appreciate it so much, and we love Jacob and Jonathan for having us over there, and I hope you guys and girls are enjoying our semi-entertainment.
Actually, we have to get them on. We need to get them on again. We need to. We end up having these really big discussions, and then we realize that we need to go in different ways, and we have about 20 different conversations that we need to have with these boys.
Oh yeah, down the rabbit hole, man.
Yeah.
Everyone does. Hey, so all right, Jules, what do you know about Halloween? It's the Halloween season. What do you know about Halloween?
It's supposed to be where the veil thins and we can walk around with the dead, and the dead can come through. And
that's exciting, isn't it?
Exciting stuff.
Well, I wanted to kind of take you back a little bit and kind of just run everyone through the basics of what Halloween is, because it's been super diluted, right, and commercialized. So like in New Zealand, we don't really do Halloween. And I know in Australia, we don't do Halloween massively either. In America, it's absolutely huge. And then obviously through South America and other countries, it's a really big thing, especially over in, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. But they don't call it Halloween because obviously it's that's the commercialized version of it.
Yeah.
All Hallows Eve. So let me give you a little rundown so that we have some basis to go in. Feel free to stop me at any point, and let's talk a little bit of history. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, drop them in the comment space there so that we can read through them and have a chat about it. Yeah, cool. So Halloween and witches, they go hand in hand, but that connection goes back much further than black hats and broomsticks, right? And that, by the way, is a load of crap as well, but we'll get into that. So to understand it, we have to start with Samhain. It's pronounced Samhain, Samhain, the old Celtic festival that marked the end of summer and the beginning of winter. Thousands of years ago, people across Ireland, Scotland, and parts of Europe celebrated Samhain around the end of October. And in New Zealand, we do the Māori New Year and other like matariki and that sort of stuff, which shows us the time to plant kumara, to go and harvest the kaimoana, the ocean food, and all that sort of stuff. So every ancient civilization or culture has had these kind of spring equinox or whatever to tell them what to do next, right? And Selwyn's exactly the same. So because it was a time when the crops were in, the days were shorter, and the darkness crept in. People believe that this is when the barrier between the living and the dead grew thin, exactly what you were saying, right? The thinning of that veil at night when the spirits could start walking among us. Because of that, Samhain became a night for protection and magic. Fires were lit to keep spirits away. People carved scary faces into turnips because there was none of this pumpkin rubbish to frighten off wandering souls. And those carvings later evolved into the pumpkins that we know today. In New Zealand, we don't do pumpkin carving or anything like that. And I think if we were going to carve anything, it would be like kumara. What do you reckon? I don't know, like kumara, or which is sweet potato.
Make something out of the flax and a cauldron.
It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. So villagers wore disguises, aka costumes, right? So any spirits roaming by wouldn't recognize them as humans. Others used the night for divination, reading fortunes and apples or nuts, hence apple bobbing, to glimpse what the year ahead might bring.
Yeah.
So I find that stuff really interesting because I love to see where all of these traditions, these bastardized traditions in modern times have come from, because it comes from such a beautiful place of just like genuine honesty of what we needed at the time. We needed to know when to sow crops, when to harvest, what to do next. So over the time when Christianity spread through Europe, the church folded these old beliefs into new celebrations. All Hallows Eve, the night before All Saints Day, that mix of pagan and Christian tradition eventually became what we call Halloween, right? And I love that pagan ceremonies and Celtic ceremonies have all been kind of entwined into what we do today. So mostly any sort of like special day that we have in modern times come from these sort of older pagan or Celtic celebrations, right?
And it's weird because they'll do that and they'll embrace that side of it, but on the other side of it, if it doesn't suit what they want, they vilify it. So
and we're going to get into that pretty heavy. We were just talking earlier going, oh man, no wonder women are pissed off with the world. After everything that's happened, no wonder. Hey, while we're here, let's just pop through these awesome little comments that are coming through. Marichelle, hello ladies. From Moore and CO. I don't know where that is. Oh, from Moy and CO. I don't know where that is. Where is that? CO. Where are you? Tell us where you are.
All right.
Tactical Bigfoot Research. Hey, Mike, what's going on? I hope you're well, buddy. It's nice to see you back here, man. We haven't spoken for anyway, cool. So without vilifying the Christian religion or the Catholics or the churches and that sort of stuff too much. We're not going to delve too far into that. We know what those people did, and that was for their own agenda, full stop. So now, where do witches come in? Witches were always seen as people who worked with unseen forces. They were healers. They were midwives. They were wise women who used herbs, charms, and old knowledge. And I love old knowledge, right? These ancient ways of knowing, understanding how natural medicines work, how healing works, how to deliver children. It's not, how are you vilified for being that amazing person that steps in and says, I know how to look after this woman during the most traumatic time in her life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? How can you vilify someone like that? I don't know. And now we have a shortage of midwives throughout the world. So well done, Halloween.
And
Well done, Halloween. Oh, Mira says she's from Colorado. What up, Colorado?
yeah. Oh, the beautiful Colorado.
Yeah. And Mike says, sorry, I've been hiding. Hiding with Bigfoot, no doubt. In the bush.
Are you not showing us Bigfoot? Are you hiding out with him?
Are you hiding?
You know something we don't know?
Probably. They always do. All right, so as fear and superstition grew, these women were accused of using dark powers, blamed for misfortune, and in many cases, hunted or killed. And we're going to go into this in a little bit. In parts of Scotland, records even mentioned supposed witch gatherings on All Hallows Eve, i.e. Halloween, when people already believed that the supernatural world was closest to ours. What do you think of that, Jules? Have you got anything to get in there with?
Oh, look, you know, we all know the history. It was just they would basically use as a scapegoat and vilified because they were seen as being too powerful. They had too much power, and that's what it boiled down to. And I'm not talking about supernatural power. I'm talking about, you know, people went to them when they had problems, whether it be medicinal or supernatural or spiritual or something like that. And that is where the church could not deal with what was going on. And that's kind of where it all basically turned to custard for them. And they became vilified for doing what they were.
Do you know what I love? I love the fact that and we've talked about this numerous times, that naturopathy, homeopathy, all of these natural sciences are coming back into the modern world that we live in because of all the synthetic drugs, right? All of the jabs and the synthetic, you know, opiates and all this other stuff that's being pushed on us as band-aid solutions. It doesn't fix the main root of the problem, right? But our bodies were made to live off the land. Our bodies were made to consume the things that grow naturally on the land. Our digestive system, our biomes and our gut are actually made to absorb that stuff readily and availably. And unfortunately, we put all this synthetic crap into our body, and then it totally throws off the sequencing of everything, our vibrational frequency, our electric charges, and all of that sort of stuff. So I say, let's bring the witches back. Maybe I am a witch.
Let's bring the healers back.
The healers, thank you. Yeah, that's probably what we should start calling them. Hey, do you know the different types of witches? There's like garden witches and kitchen witches.
Oh, there's all sorts. There's like a wide variety. You know, and you've got your dark witches. You know, there is this, you know, and we can't deny that side. There is a side that is like a dark kind of side, but you know, that's like everything.
Yeah,
you know, you've got to have, you know, you've got to have your light and your dark. So, but you can't pop everybody into the same.
Yeah. The same. You can't categorize everyone in the same melting pot or cauldron, if you will.
Cauldron.
Look at me stir the pot. Stirring that cauldron right there.
Yeah, without going too deep into it because it gets very controversial and stuff like that. So. It's just you know, you've got to take the good with the bad and everything, you know, it's like all religions, there's good and there's bad sides to it.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure. And that's all about perspective as well, right? Like I might sit here and say, oh, well, this is the good side and this is the bad side, or this is the light and this is the dark. And my perspective comes from whatever my belief systems look like and my upbringing to a point looks like as well. Yeah. Whereas you go and listen to some interviews and things like that of like dark wizards or people that are working in that darker side, and their perspective is totally different, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you know, and I'm not going to go into what they say, but you should go and listen to some of those. I
know, but then you know, it's and then generally you've got like, you know, what you're saying, like you've got your dark witches and your people that are into like the Satanism and you know all that kind of stuff, and it is very different. But then you've got these people that are probably not within that circle that go off the fringe and twist it to what they think it should be, and this is where, you know, they get in and then they start dealing with you know, doing the paranormal stuff and bringing in demons and all that kind of stuff, and it's, you know, it's very it's very, very
And I
sketchy.
guess, yeah, and I guess the thing is you always want to research, right? You want to do your own research. You want to go and listen to as many interviews and podcasts and read as many articles as possible to give yourself a solid overview of kind of what that looks like. Don't ever come from just one perspective. Always have like a broad view so that you can then kind of mold that perspective in there, right?
Yeah. It's like Lilith, going back right to the beginning, Lilith and Eve have been made out, or Lilith especially has been made out to be demonic. That is only through the church. That is through modern day that have done that. Back in the olden days, that was not her. So it's very
that would be an interesting episode to go into, Jules. Like, I don't know much about Lilith as far as like other than what I've kind of heard doing Cryptid Women's Society. So it'd be really interesting to kind of go back into that and kind of delve deeper and actually
because like I noticed like there's this very big, hate's the wrong word, but like this very big thing of she is basically ruling all the demons. She's doing, and I'm just like, oh, no. There is, but like I said, there's two sides to every story, and
occasionally six sides. There's always more than just the two sides coming together.
And through modern religions and Catholic and Christian, all that, again, we're not bashing religions. All the women within these Bibles have been made out to be villains. Every single one. So you've got to really kind of look at that perspective of it. It's just like, why are they vilifying basically every woman that's been in here, Mary Magdalene, all of them.
Well, and it's a perfect little timeline, isn't it? And we look at what we're talking about now, which are witches and healers and midwives and women that had this knowledge base of caring for people essentially. And then you go through like all of the historical stuff into women that are then put into asylums, and in thousands and thousands of women put into these asylums or these mental hospitals, institutes, for what? Reading novels?
Reading a book, trying to heal themselves.
Being too outspoken.
And that all comes from a patriarchal religious society.
Yeah, and you can't deny that, right? You can't deny the fact that women have been absolutely not even just oppressed, but killed.
And I mean, I think that's it, isn't it? They've gone to this point. Now we're going on this big woman rant, but sorry, guys. But no, it's gone to this point where they try to stop us understanding that knowledge. It's like, you will not read, you will obey, it's like all this kind of stuff. You will not have that knowledge. But now there's like this like, even like we're saying right now, there's like this very big kind of change going on where it's just like, I want that knowledge. Give me that knowledge. Give me that healing knowledge. Give me this. And it's
and it's not that bullshit feminism stuff, right? Like, we're not going down that track. We're not fucking protesting or, whatever. What we're saying is, this is, if you look historically through the years, this is just the same shit recycled to maintain this kind of
control.
Yeah, absolutely. Control over women that want that knowledge. That want to heal, that want to help, and that want to, I don't know, is it healing Mother Earth? Is it healing the human race? Because we've created the human race essentially.
And look what they're doing now. They're banning books in libraries. It's like, and this is where, this has been going on for a while. All these books that give us knowledge, that tell us these ancient stories, these warnings, these ancient warnings from these old tales, like the Red Riding Hood and all these things are getting banned. Like, how ridiculous is that? But that is, again, it's basically trying to stop that knowledge coming through and trying to get,
It's interesting. Hey, we've got
a very
well, look, at the end of the day, we are Cryptid Women's Society, and we are strong women, and we are independent, and we are searching for the truth. And the truth of the matter is that this has happened. This has happened, full stop. And yes, like you say, there's always supernatural. There's always a dark element into it. Everything else when it comes to this sort of stuff. And we will 100% go into that. But from a human kind of space, this is literally what has happened, right? That control. And let me just read a couple of comments here. Mike says, oh, I was recovering from surgery, so he wasn't out hunting.
Oh.
Sorry, Mikey. Hope you're okay, buddy boy.
Healing love coming to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us send that through our bashing of nothing. So Mira says it's all about intent, 100%. Yeah. If you're sitting on the light or the dark side, it's about intent either way, 100%. Yeah. And then Mira also says, sorry, but it's all about control. It's a control issue. We need to dump the conditioning and get back to the power of the mind. Can you imagine having PMS back in the day? Woo! Imagine going through perimenopause right now and wanting to stab everyone, which is what I'm dealing with right now.
I reckon a lot of this is because of the foods that we eat. It's made it worse. And the crap that we're in, the chemicals we're around, I think back in the days probably there's probably some angry warrior woman out there. It's like, I'm going to go hunt myself a goddamn lion today.
No, look, sometimes you just need meat, Juliet, okay? You just need meat. We could never be vegans. We've already talked about this.
Yeah. I do feel like a lot of our women's issues have got worse and worse and worse and worse. And I think a lot of it is to do with what we're eating and the chemicals around. But yeah, absolutely. I could just imagine it. Just angry.
Oh, we would have been burnt at the stake, number one, and number two. We would have been in a mental asylum real quick. Depends
on what you kind of that you want to put us in. Yeah, we would have been burnt at the stake as witches. Mental asylum. The works.
You guys get the DoorDash or what is it? What's the other food? Uber
Eats.
Do you guys get the advert with Cher in it?
Yeah.
And she's being burnt at the stake and she's like, oh no, this is really bad. Oh no.
Oh no, they don't show us that part of it. They show us with like a caveman.
Oh really? Oh, we've got an advert. So for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, in New Zealand we've got Uber Eats advert, and Cher, the singer, is cooking in her kitchen or whatever, and I can't remember what she's requested, but basically she ends up in like 1640 or something and ends up tied to a stake with like about to be burnt at the stake essentially, and she's like, oops, that's not quite right. I'm like, oh no.
Okay.
It was quite funny. It made me giggle. Anyway, hey, let's move.
I love your comment. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. PMS back in the day. Oh my God, we're all going. Right. Across the Celtic world, you see the same pattern, which is the season where the world turns dark, right? Halloween is global. Oh, Lisa needs more coffee.
Globally too.
The world turns dark, spirits walk, and the boundaries blur. In Ireland, and I'm going to absolutely munt this name up, so sorry everyone. In Ireland, it was called Oich Sauna, the night of Samhain. Anyone from Ireland, please fix that.
Okay,
that's not it. People in Scotland, people called Halloween full of guising, apple bobbing, and protective charms made from rowan trees. In Wales, it was Nos Galan Giaf. Sorry to everyone that's from Wales. That was my Gaelic. Oh Lord. Haunted by a black sow, said to chase late night wanderers in the Isle of Man. Kids still celebrate Hop Tuna, carrying carved turnips and singing about Ginny the witch, a real woman once accused of witchcraft. Isn't that funny, eh? All of these are like we have Bad Jelly the Witch in New Zealand, which is a really storybook. Yeah. I think it's quite funny. Each of these traditions shared the same theme: night of mystery, danger, and the unknown, the perfect home for witches. Witches became the living symbol of that idea. Women of power, exactly what you said, Jules, feared or misunderstood, which is basically just ignorance from the other side, who could move between worlds just like the spirits Halloween was meant to honor or repel. So all of a sudden it's brought in that supernatural side of things, and the fact that the ideology that these women could shift between dimensions. right?
But I mean, that's it. This stuff, used to happen back then, so it was probably very scary. You probably have your clairvoyants, people that can communicate with ghosts, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%,
Probably,
100%. And you've got your fortune tellers and all that sort of stuff. And that was part of Selwyn, which was bobbing for apples and, like doing the nut celebration stuff.
doing all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what showed you and then they would interpret what that was as to kind of what next year would look like and what next season would look like. And
like the crops, am I going to get a husband? Am I going to have more children? It wasn't like I'm going to take over the world.
For some of us, okay. That's still one of my goals, world domination, but world domination. All you have to do is subscribe. So click the subscribe buttons. Help us dominate. Okay, so historical images of witches, right? So Jules, describe your view of what a witch looks like.
And you're talking about in modern day, isn't it?
Sure.
What would a modern day witch look like? Like, are we talking about the scary witch, or are we talking about the...
Well done.
Yeah. All right. So, like, if you go for your typical scary witch, you got the long fingers, the long creepy nails, you got the big nose, you got the wart, you got the pointy hat, and there's like an
so they're ugly. So they're
ugly, real haggy looking, and stuff like that. That is your, like, the modern day perspective of what the witch look like, whereas today we know that's very, very different.
Sure. And it's interesting, right? Because historically speaking, these were simply women down the road. This could have been your mum or your next door neighbor or whatever, who was doing medicinal herbology and healing people, or giving you something for a headache, or whatever. So and most of those women were probably quite beautiful, versus the Disney version of you must be green and you must be hideous, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before witches became that pointy hatted icon that we see every Halloween, by the way, what are you dressing up as, Jules, this Halloween? What's your costume?
I don't know, to be honest. I haven't really got one, and I've got to order it. I've got to sort it out.
We are going out as police officers. I have a 4-year-old who wanted to be a robber. he was like, Mummy, I just want to be a robber. And he had like a mask and all this. And Dad said, no, son, be a police officer, be a good guy. And so now he wants to be a police officer. So I have to dress up as a police officer.
Well, Abigail wants to go around dressed as a bloody butcher, carrying a knife that chops up people. This is my gorgeous 10-year-old granddaughter who just looks so sweet, and she's decided she wants to be a murdering butcher.
I love her so much.
I don't know where it came from.
It's fantastic. Well, I was like, dude, a police officer? This is so... No, be Dracula or someone cool. And he was like, no, but
you know what? You should trick them and you should turn up as the robber. And then they have to chase you.
Oh my God, that's my 10,000 steps in like half an hour. I might actually. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Get some handcuffs. They can just surprise them. He goes, you guys have to wait. Then you pop out and go.
That's a great idea. Okay, I might do that. All right. So before witches became that pointy head icon that you see every Halloween, there was something much more ordinary and much more human, like we talked about, right? Yeah. Beautiful women that were just your next door neighbor. Across Europe, long before the word witch carried fear, there were wise women and healers. These were the people from the villages turned for herbal remedies, for blessings for crops, for protection charms, and help during childbirth. Their magic, in quotation marks, was really folk knowledge, a mix of herbal medicines, local traditions, and spiritual beliefs passed down through generations, right? From their mother to their mother to their mother.
Yeah.
But as religion and politics began to tighten control over what was counted as holy, that kind of independent power started to look dangerous. COVID, anyone? We're just going to spell that out for YouTube. When Christianity spread through Europe, the church redefined anything outside its teachings as pagan or evil. Practices that once healed or protected suddenly looked suspicious. The old gods became demons, and wise women became what we call witches.
Yeah.
By the late Middle Ages, the new and the terrifying idea had taken root, right? And talk about fear-mongering. Propaganda at its very, very best is basically maybe where it started. Maybe it started a bit earlier than that, but propaganda has always been a part of human nature.
Control.
Right?
There we go.
That terrifying idea was that witches didn't just use magic, they made a pact with the devil himself. So that's a whole nother step up, right? Using magic and fortune telling and this sort of stuff, all of a sudden you've done a deal with the devil. You've sold your soul to the devil. Yeah. That's a massive step up. And talk about fear mongering, right? Church authorities claimed witches worshipped him in secret ceremonies called Sabbaths, where they supposedly danced, flew, and cast curses. These weren't beliefs that came from the people. They were created in courtrooms and government buildings or councils or whatever, and from fear, essentially. The fear spread like wildfire, and this takes us into the 1400s to the 1700s, which is where all of those witch hunts really kicked on in.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, right? Because we're talking thousands of women and men, but mostly women, that were stolen, kidnapped, abducted, tortured, and killed because
made to confess for stuff that they weren't doing, but 100%. They just wanted it to stop. So yeah,
100%.
I don't believe there's a true record of how many women were killed. It's
Absolutely, it's freaking horrendous, right?
Yeah.
So my little spiel here, feel free to jump on in here. So from the 1400s to the 1700s, witch hunts swept across Europe and into American colonies. Thousands of people, mostly women, were accused of witchcraft. Some were poor, some were outsiders, and some were simply unlucky enough to be blamed when crops failed, storms hit, or illness spread, especially the illness spreading thing.
Yeah,
that was massive, right? You've cursed the town or something.
And the crops have failed, so there must be a witch in the town. So that's it. They're
absolutely
basically
mental, right? Under torture, many confessed to impossible things, flying through the night, turning into animals. Some of them could turn into animals, let's be honest. We have, shape-shifting entities left, right, and center, skinwalkers, anyone. There we go. So we won't throw that too far away. Or signing a devil's book just to make the pain stop. And the torture was horrendous, like absolutely horrendous. And some of the stories, and I'm not going to go into those, but some of the stories that I've read when I was doing this research, absolutely horrendous. Like not anything that you can even imagine. Like imagine the worst type of torture times 100.
Yeah.
And for
horrendous. Yeah,
absolutely. Each country had its own version of the madness. And during this time, there was also the werewolf trials. Do you remember talking about those, Jill? Yeah. And something like 7,000, I think, is the recorded number in quotation marks of the people that were killed because they were deemed werewolves. But it was obviously much higher than that as well. And the same with the number of witches, right?
Yeah.
In the witch trials. So each country had its own version of the madness. In Germany and France, whole villages were wiped out by witch trials. Whole villages.
Yeah.
In Scotland, King James VI himself became obsessed with rooting out witches after a storm delayed his ship, a storm he blamed on sorcery. Essentially, it was said that a witch cursed him and his travel, and then obviously it delayed the ship and all that sort of stuff. And there's a bit more of a story to that. But I was like, dude, get a grip, bro. You just can't sail. Like, there's obviously just issues going on with your navigations. You need to come down to the South Pacific and learn from the indigenous people. Like, oh, dude. But back in those days, sorcery was massive, right?
Yeah.
Like you know, Merlin, druids, all of the above, right? All of that sort of stuff. It's crazy. In England, witch finders traveled from town to town, paid to identify witches and bring them to justice. And if you've ever watched any movie or TV show, these witch hunters or witch finders make a pretty bold statement in those TV shows and stuff, eh?
Yeah.
And obviously in Salem, Massachusetts, in America, hysteria reached its breaking point when children's accusations led to the deaths of 20 innocent people in 1692. So that was, you know, like, seriously, it does my head in. Couple of comments. These guys are talking about soup is a witch's brew and donuts.
Soup and donuts. Soup I understand because you had the pot that just kept brewing and brewing and brewing. What's the donuts?
I want donuts. I love donuts. In fact, it was Mike's page because he posted something about donuts and I was like, damn you, now I want donuts. It was you little shit. Mira says, anyone know about Moldavite? I collect Superman stone. I actually read something about Moldavite a while ago. It's pretty amazing, an amazing stone formation. And it's got some pretty phenomenal properties to it. I can't actually tell you off the top of my head, but if anyone does know, flick us through some comments or some DMs and tell us about it, and I'll flick them on to Mira because it's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool stuff. It's the real shiny stuff, eh? It's real cool.
Ooh.
So all right, cool. Do you have anything else you want to add in about the witch child?
I mean it's pretty much, it's like we all know it's you go into it, it just, like you said, it just pisses you off. The things that happen to these women, there's like a very deep dark side, you know, that would be like a whole kind of story on its own with what actually happened to these women and stuff. So I don't think it would be stuff that we could probably discuss on YouTube anyway.
Sure, yeah.
But it was basically brought on by the church and patriarchy, and that's it. And that's where it's basically all stemmed from. And
I've got one really old school journal that I wouldn't mind kind of just reading through real quick because I think it's pretty cool. And it was all about Scottish witchcraft and King James and his issues with being cursed. Do you want me to read you it?
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So this is from gla.ac.uk. It's basically news from Scotland, right? And they go into this really old school newspaper article, essentially documenting this story about King James being cursed and what kind of kicked off from that, because that really kicked off a lot of the witch trials and his witch hunts and stuff like that. So it says our copy is from the Library of John Ferguson, 1837 to 1916, a bibliographer and Regius Professor of Chemistry at Glasgow University. He knew of only 4 copies of this edition, 2 of which were in his own collection. And basically, these are illustrated. They're really, really cool. But I'm just going to run down to the story. And I've got... Hold on, let me find you again. Where did you go there? Oh, there you are. I just lost you there for a second. I'm going to share my screen because I actually just want to take you through this. It's really cool so that you can see it. All right, so check this out. Can you see this? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, cool.
Sorry, I'll come back up to the top here. So you won't be able to read too much of it, but I'll read you through a little bit of this. So News from Scotland is the earliest tract of Scottish witchcraft. It claims to give a true account of a famous trial of alleged witches in North Berwick, which had far-reaching effects due to the fact that King James VI himself played a prominent part in it, giving credence to the existence of witchcraft and setting the standard for later trials. So essentially, he was the dude that really kind of started kicking this puppy off, right? This tale of supposed witchcraft began with the arrest of a maidservant named Gillis Duncan, and I might be saying her name wrong, who was suspected by her employer, David Smeaton of Trenton. His reasons for suspicion were the fact that she would secretly go out at night and that Gillis Duncan took in hand to help all such as were troubled or grewed with any kind of sickness or infirmity, and and in short space did perform many matter most miraculous. It was not unusual during the times of the witch hunts for suspicion to fall on midwives or people who appeared to be able to heal others. And as we go on down, you can see there's some really cool pieces of work that are obviously real from this age. And basically, this is where it goes pear-shaped, right? Gillis Duncan was tortured with the pillywinks of her fingers and by binding or wincing her head with a cord or a rope.
Winching her head.
Tightening her head up. She did not confess until her torturers declared that they had found her devil's mark, and finding a devil's mark was a really, really important part of identifying
which was just a basic birthmark.
Yeah. If you had a birthmark, you're a devil.
Yeah, you're in big trouble.
It being believed at the time that it was due to a due examination of witchcraft and witches in Scotland, it hath lately been found that the dual doth generally mark them with a privy mark. Once Gillis was committed to prison, it did not take her long to accuse others of witchcraft. And this is what happened, right? These women got tortured so brutally that they then went, oh, if I give somebody else up, then they'll stop.
They'll stop, yeah.
These people were Agnes Sampson, Agnes Thompson, Dr. Fyan, which was a man, alias John Cunningham, Barbara Napier, and Effie McCallion, to name but a few. In all, around 70 people were implicated in this case. Absolutely disgusting, eh?
Yeah.
Agnes Sampson was arrested and eventually confessed under torture as well, implicating even more. Basically, her highly colorful story, which detailed a coven with as many as 200 other witches through North Berwick. And basically, and this is where they brought in, they instructed them to use spells and throw a dead cat into the sea to create a great storm, right? And this is the storm, apparently, that King James went through, and you know, all sorts of hell broke loose and everything else. So I love this story because it really highlights how the fear and the torture and the manipulation just built up into this giant situation where you've got more than 200 people implicated as a part of
because they're all just saying, stop torturing me if I give you a name, basically, and that's how it all just, and then they were all just killed anyway. So
100%.
But I mean, you're being tortured, you'd rather be dead anyway. So totally.
And it's just freaking horrendous, man. And you're absolutely right. I mean, we could go on this this train ride for a long time, and we probably should do an actual kind of deep dive into the witch trials as well, because we've definitely done the werewolf trials, and that was really interesting. And I think it spurs on so many other stories that that need to be told as well. So you mentioned that witches have hats. What about Hats and cats, yeah, 100%. What about a broomstick?
Oh yeah, the old flying broomstick, or the besom as it's called, the cauldron. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts. Like, the broomsticks and stuff were used to kind of cleanse areas and that kind of stuff. It's like you're sweeping out,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
They were also used to bless the crops for good harvest,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
all
they were
sorts.
used symbolically to ride through the fields to bless the harvest and stuff. And over time, obviously, the image of women flying on broomsticks was twisted into something darker, right? Like, come on now. But it's that whole idea, right? When you're talking about Bigfoot, and there's a story that comes out about Bigfoot or aliens like UFO landings or whatever. But no, 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 it's just a mass hallucination, right? It's just a mass vivid vision, mass hallucination. And apparently this is kind of what may or may not have happened in, the 1400s, where this started becoming part and parcel of what these witches were using. They were flying around on broomsticks. But apparently, one of the possibilities around this was there were hallucinations because some of the ointments that these healers used contained toxic herbs like belladonna and henbane, which could cause vivid visions, right?
Yeah.
But possibly not enough to cause mass hallucinations because,
If it's like in your subconscious and it's what people have been saying, so it's yeah, it could have.
Hysteria, right? Like, and humans are so great with hysteria because we went through that very, very in the last couple of years with mass hysteria around you may catch a flu, you may catch a cold, don't hug people, don't go and see people, stay in your houses, you're not allowed to leave more than 5 kilometers away from your house, eh, Jules?
Mhm.
Yeah, we
I
just
wonder
be
what that
very
was called.
careful about what we say here, but that is mass hysteria, right? There wasn't a lot of research being done. People weren't really going, okay, what does this mean for me? What is actually going on here? What does this look like? We were just kind of pushed into going with the flow. And, I don't blame anyone globally for going and doing that stuff, for going and getting the jab, for doing what you were told to do, for being a part of that space, because we were all put into that mass hysteria. I mean, in New
Mass
Zealand, we
hysteria
were
and fear,
in
and
fear.
what
Yeah,
happened to the people that tried to go against the grain? They were vilified, they were crucified, they disappeared, they were
yeah.
killed.
Just off you
It's
go.
yeah, off you go. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and I think, like when you go back into kind of what happened with the witches and the healers and that sort of stuff, it's exactly the same thing. It was just this mass hysteria that was propagated by the people that wanted to create this situation. And it's orchestrated, right? Perfectly orchestrated for many, many, many years, which is
yeah.
amazing that it can still, like, wow,
even
centuries.
even today, we've had shops that sell witchcraft supplies, and all that kind of stuff have been attacked, and women have been attacked and stuff, and it's like, come on, man, this is modern day.
Yeah.
But there are, there's certain people that come in and they do this, and yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And they have a belief system that is not the same, or they're fearful from whatever standpoint, be it religious or be it just religion and ignorance, because you don't understand. And if you are unwilling to understand, then you will always have bias, right? You will always
yeah,
have
yeah.
prejudice towards something. Mike says he's got to get out of here. See you, Mike.
Hey,
Thanks for joining
buddy.
us, buddy. And the indescribable Octo Man is here,
Hey,
ladies and gentle squatch. Word.
Brian.
Word. What are your thoughts on witches, buddy? Drop them in the comments here. We're talking about black cats next. Black cats are a big part of the witch and Halloween phenomenon. What do you reckon? What's your deal with
Poor
black?
little black cat.
I
They just
know.
get given a hard time.
Vilified.
They get vilified. They are the least adoptable cats. They're like more black
Really?
cats are put down than any other colored cat because people will not take them because they are black.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love black cats. So when I grew up, we had the most amazing black green-eyed Siamese, and her name was Twinkle. And she was phenomenal. I used to dress her up like I was a little girl, and I used to put like a baby, like a doll's bonnet on her head and tie it under her chin and put doll's clothes on her and push her around in my pram. And she would lie like this with the blanket across her paws and like her little black face underneath this baby bonnet. And I used to push her around, and she was the most amazing cat.
We had a few cats. We got a black cat, big fluffy pain in the ass that he is.
Oh yeah. Do we count Xena as black cat? Because
she had the attitude of a black cat. She was like a dark, smoky grey. Yeah. But yeah, she had attitude.
Oh, she had a major attitude issue. Yeah. Major attitude.
When you say you have asshole cats, she was the asshole cat.
She was 100%.
I still have scars on my hands from her.
That's it. Like I love black cats. I think they're amazing. Yeah. And there's so many superstitions about them, but a lot of it stems from, European folklore linked to the spirit world. And so do you think black cats are linked to the spirit world?
Well, I think cats in general are just a little bit odd, to be honest. we have had this discussion before about cats and their eyes and how they have snake eyes and so are they linked? I mean, there's a lot of like right through history and stuff, cats have got a lot to do with the spiritual realm and and all this kind of stuff. So they're seen as familiars, and
what's a familiar?
So a familiar is basically say hey witches, and they have their familiars, which you can have an owl, like Harry Potter had his owl, or you could have a cat, or you could have a snake, or you could they're just kind of these animals that you connect with. And so it's the poor old black cats. I think cats are an odd creature, to be honest. They're up there with eels and octopus for me. They don't fit.
Really?
Well, look at it. What kind of eyes does a cat have?
Oh, true. They
have snake eyes.
True.
They have snake eyes. They're reptilians.
Oh my God, that is true. Hey, I just want to share my screen real quickly and show you some pictures of black cats. Is that all right?
Oh, back to black cats. Have you got really horrible cats?
Oh, no, I got beautiful pussycat. Look
at him.
See that guy?
He's a chunky monkey.
Yes. So this image is from a 1579 witchcraft pamphlet. Okay. Oh, so just in case you're worried about witchcraft, this guy, you wanna check him out and make sure that you don't see him walking around. He looks grumpy. To start with. He looks grumpy, okay?
He looks like a black tabby because he's got stripes on him. So just saying. He's got fat feet.
He's got fat feet. He looks a bit chunky. Yeah, he looks like he's been eating a fair amount of food that he shouldn't have been eating.
A lot of rats back in those times.
I'm going to show you the next one. Hang on. Oh, obviously we've got Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? So very, very well-known TV show back in the day, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Salem was turned into a cat.
Yep.
And he's obviously a black cat and very, very well-known and popular. Did you like that TV show, Jules?
I love that TV show. It was funny. I think she's actually remade it or something. Was something been remade?
Yeah, there's something on Netflix, I think. I'm not big on Netflix because I think it's a bit full of crap, but
yeah.
I quite like it.
But then they just cancel everything anyway.
Sure. This is Satan's cat, apparently. This again was part of a witchcraft manual. So if you were to ever see this
what's coming out of his butt? But it's the show, guys.
Yeah. Also, yes, this is Satan's cat. So just for everyone that's watching, that's listening to this only, essentially it's a black cat with really long claws.
It's got like a human head though. Look, it's got a human head, human ears, got like a cat nose with whiskers coming out, got horns, and then it goes into like a cat body. and then whatever, it's a chain or something around its neck, which looks like it's coming out of his butt, and then it's got his little willy hanging out. So I don't know. And that's his little horn, maybe. He's tooting his own horn. I don't know.
Possibly. He looks like he's got a key in his mouth. That looks like a key kind of sticking out the side of his mouth. Yeah. The indescribable Octoman says, I need that tattooed on me.
That is just odd. So when's this one from?
This is from a witchcraft manual as well, back in the 1600s or late 1500s.
Hilarious.
But yeah, so just in case you see him walking around, I would be freaking concerned. And
it just all goes into the whole shape-shifting thing, doesn't it? Just there we go.
Totally. And this is the other one that I wanted to share. This is also from an article essentially vilifying, witches fly on broomsticks. They have big pointed hats, obviously.
And a sickle going on there.
There's a sickle in there. And obviously the devil's part of that, because she's made a pact with the devil, and she's taking some other people, vulnerable people with
really big chin. What's up with all their big chins?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? Like, obviously they're either old hags or they're terribly ugly women that are very scary.
Yeah.
So and this is just to name a few. Like, you can find so
much stuff.
The propaganda is amazing. The amount of work that they put out to vilify these women, and this whole idea of and men as well, but this whole idea of healing and everything else, and natural and stuff. So I just wanted to show you some pictures of my witch.
That's hilarious.
It's crazy, right? Like, it's crazy to kind of go into that. And like, you've got these black cats that are being absolutely slaughtered, and like you say, that's still going on today, where cats are simply not wanted.
If you actually ask at the animal rescue place, there was actually a whole article and stuff done on it, like here in Melbourne, like a few years back now, and they were talking about that, how the whole all the cats and stuff, all the black cats, nobody wanted them. Just
It's
what are you laughing at?
Sorry, I'm reading the comments at the same time. This is really, really funny. Oh my Lord, hang on, I'll just start from here. Indescribable Octoman says, I've experienced enough of the mystical to know magic witches exist. They're simply people who know more magic than I do. Yeah, good call. I'd consider that witchy, laugh out loud. They can just control their magic better. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has the superpower inside them, which I love. We have this consciousness that, you can create your own reality. Look at manifestation pretty easily, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Buddhists, look at, different people, shaman, all these people. Yeah. They all have that same thing. They all can control that magic, that energy and all that kind of stuff. But it's like the witches that kind of have that whole, because they do it's there's like that whole kind of different thing. So that's what I mean. It's come from a point where there were probably very magical women and men possibly back in those times. And then, it's just kind of stemmed from there. So it was fear. Completely out of fear, because they'll see them as being powerful.
Yeah.
What do they do to any powerful people now? If it's not powerful, you get rid of them. If they have control, Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah, if it's something that
happens,
has the possibility of dismantling what you have created, or creating chaos or annoyance or whatever, you just simply get rid of them, because it's far easier than having to deal with them. And especially when you're dealing with the occult, and we know that, especially working in the community that we work in, and the industries and the spaces that we work in, delving back into history and then modern times, we know that there are people, the upper echelon, or whoever you want to call them, the cabal or whatever, have this fascination, right, with the occult, absolute fascination. The Nazis had that fascination. Most government officials have some sort of a connection to the occult and what that does, be it whether or not they know it or not. Even just the rituals that they do, the ceremonies, they are all well connected into that sort of space. So then
Where's the Catholic Church? What's under there? What's under the Vatican? Hello. Okay.
Yeah, well, we don't go into conspiracy too much. We'll wait for Brandon Kroll to come and jump on our show to do that one. By the way, we have booked an interview with the amazing Brandon Kroll, and if you don't know him, go and look him up because, man, he's gonna kill it. I can't wait. Mira Shell says, funny idea as a tattoo. You should totally get it. Indescribable man. And he says, so I think I do need that Satan Cats tattoo. You do, man.
Show us. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, get it and show us. That'd be so good. Oh, black cats. Hey, what about the cauldron?
Oh, it's it's basically, I mean, the cauldrons have basically just come from the pots. This is where they used to cook the food, cook the soup, brew the potions, whatever, make the medicines. That's what it was, I mean, that's basically what it was, but it was turned into, basically this thing of being part of the witches, and it's just like people today still use cauldrons to cook. It's a pot over a stove. That's all it is, a cast iron pot over a thing. It doesn't matter what shape you make it. You're cooking up some magic.
Cooking up some beef magic.
Yeah,
absolutely. No, that's cool. And then obviously we've got the pointy hat, right? So I love the story of the pointy hat. No one's quite sure where it began, but historians believe that it evolved from medieval women's hats that marked social status, right? Tall, cone-shaped headdresses or wide-brim caps worn by women who brewed or sold goods in markets. For obvious reason, they had these status symbols that made them look like they were well-to-do or wealthy or whatever else. Later, those same women were often accused of witchcraft, obviously because they were brewing or they were selling goods in the markets and that sort of stuff. And their hats became an easy visual marker for artists and storytellers. So by the 18th and 19th centuries, the pointed hat had become shorthand for witch, especially in children's books and stage plays. Yeah. And that's part of, like, I think where we as a society have totally screwed up, in that we read these stories to our children and we identify these types of people and these groups without even going into it and understanding it. And we, I am guilty 100% of reading stories of things that I know are incorrect. Right. And I think it's when you start doing research like this and you go, the pointed hat, you then kind of go, okay, I might make some changes. I think I'm going to make some changes.
I mean, that's it, being aware of it. And that's all you can do, is you can make people aware of it. Yes, great, have it for Halloween and it's a fun thing. That's fine. But there is the deeper story behind what's happened. And don't try and hide that history. And I think that's it's a really big part. Like the kids, we have a fantastic market that we go to here, and the kids go down there and they've met a bunch of witches and guys and women, men and women, and it's just like they just know. They're just like, hey, how's it going? And you talk to them. You can, the kids have so much fun down there. But it's just you've just gotta you've got to be careful.
I kind of
don't buy into the bullshit anymore.
Don't buy into the bullshit. That's it. That's it. And it's interesting because we so my little boy is 4, nearly 5, and he's just lost his first tooth. And I was like, number one, did you knock your tooth out because you're only 4? So I was like, what the hell have you done? But he had this wiggly tooth and it's fallen out. And so we weren't going to do the tooth fairy story because we've done so much research and kind of delving into fairies. I'm like, we don't need to be inviting fairies into our house. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's fine. You guys stay out there. We don't have any gifts for you, pop outside. But because he's at kindergarten, preschool, they're all like, oh, the tooth fairy, the tooth fairy. And they've just literally kind of instilled this idea into him, not come from us. And so now I'm like, do I tell him the real story? Or like, is that too soon to be a 4-year-old hearing the real story about fairies and where the tooth fairy story has come from? Or do we just go with it? Right.
And I go with it. And then as they get older, you kind of explain it to them. Like our guys have got fairy doors,
Yeah.
so, and they bring gifts and stuff for the fairies and stuff. But it's been made quite clear that the fairies are there, they're under contract, that they're not to cause too much mischief. They come out at Christmas time and cause a bit of mischief with the elf, which was kind of funny.
I feel like that guy's going to show up at Christmas time soon as well.
Yeah. So, so it's just, I mean.
It's interesting from a parenting perspective, right? To go, okay, well, we are in this community and we understand all this sort of stuff. How much do I allow my children to kind of go into, right? And you're way more, I guess, probably chill with it than I am, because like I come from a religious background, right? We were never allowed to go trick-or-treating. We weren't allowed to do Halloween. We weren't allowed to dress up. There was none of that sort of stuff. And given 40 odd years ago, there was none of this, I'm dressing up as a police officer. You were dressing up as a ghost or a witch or a demon or a devil, or whatever, right? And from a Christian kind of household, we were never, ever, ever allowed to do that. And I know so many people that missed out on Halloween and trick-or-treating and candy, because that's all we really cared about. But did you guys go Halloween trick-or-treating, do that sort of stuff, Jules? Or that really? Wasn't part of
country? I grew up in the country. So there was none of that kind of stuff. So it wasn't until kind of later on, like when I went back over to England and, that kind of stuff. And it wasn't even really much there, but it's just, I think being over in Canada and stuff like that. I mean, I love it. I think it's a fantastic time of the year. I've always loved it. But it's not been, I was not brought up with that stuff. Like I wasn't brought up around the church. It was basically, we got up, we worked, we went to school, we came home, we worked. that was my growing up life. There was no, and then we went, for us, we'd go on holiday, we'd go to the beach or anywhere up in the bush and we'd go hunting and fishing. That was pretty much my upbringing.
Mine was the same, except it had church on top of it.
We literally had that. We had the marae.
Yeah.
We were brought up around the marais and stuff in Tikawa and stuff like that. So so it was a lot of sitting around on beer crates drinking beer and we were kids running around. Just feral.
Going feral, like not being home until dinner time and then leaving again, right?
Being out to 10 o'clock at night. It was just you get a toot, come on kids, everyone go down to the pub, all the kids are outside playing, all the parents are inside drinking, get a toot, you recognize your horn, like, okay, cool, back to the car and off you go. So oh
my God, that is so like New Zealand, right? This is literally how I grew up as well.
You're like, sweet. You try and sneak into the pub because you're hungry, and then they'll be like, all right, I'll bring you out some fish and chips, because at the pubs you always get fish and chips. So so it'll be all wrapped up in newspaper, they'll come out, they shove it on the ground, and then it was just like feral kids.
Free for all to eat food.
Free for all. And if you weren't fast, man, you missed out.
You always had your ears on, like when the food was coming, right? Because if you were mucking around down the other, like you miss out on food.
Oh yeah, you'd come back, there'd be no food, and that's it. Nobody will buy you anymore. You'd be like, oh well, it was put out there, you didn't get it tomorrow.
So go to bed hungry, like real hungry.
And then there would be like on the back of the ute or in the back of the car, there's no seat belts, so like 20 kids in the back, and we're all trying to get home, and they're just like basically throwing us out as we go by. There you go, out you go.
Dive roll out the door. I joked about that the other day, actually. I was like, oh, dive roll out, and the guy that was driving me was like, okay, and I was like, no, actually no. No, I'm not dive rolling out. He was like, no, go, you'll be fine. Torian Mitchell, hey Torian, I used to go to school with Torian. What up?
Hi,
in New Zealand. He says, sounds like the good old days. Yeah, man, we all grew up the same, eh? if you grew up in New Zealand, then that's how you grew up, man.
How
Like
you grew up.
running around wild. And I joke because my little boy is so feral and so wild. But I'm like, that's actually how I grew up, literally just in the bush all day, every day, until mum goes, dinner time, and you hear it like echo through the river and through the bush, and you're like, shit, and you got to run, man, because you knew that once dinner was on the table, if you weren't there to eat it, it was to the chickens or whatever.
Or the Good Night Kiwi advert would come on the TV telling parents to find their children at 10 o'clock at night. You know, Good Night Kiwi advert, the same music would come on, and it'd be like this advert, be like, okay, parents, do you know where your kids are? Go find them. It's time to put them to bed.
Yeah, and we'd be outside running around in the bush, like in the trees. You know, man, it's so funny.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, funny.
Mira says, I didn't grow up with the holidays, but I do enjoy them now. No children here, just me and tipper tail hunting fly. And we are happy. Is that your cat? Tipper tail hunting fly. Sounds lovely.
Oh, funny.
It sounds troublemaking. That's awesome. Hey, Jules, tell us about some movies. I love witch movies. Yeah. I love them.
What are your favorite movies? Of course, there's Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus is just, you know, that's a cool one.
It's iconic, right? It's iconic. And if you're as old as us, you grew up with Hocus Pocus, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, eh?
Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker. Oh my God, what are their names? Sarah Jessica Parker,
Bette Midler, and the other lady.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, look her up.
Hocus Pocus cast. You can't remember. Oh my
God, I cannot remember. No.
The old school one. The old school.
All the same.
Hocus Pocus was actually produced in 1993. Holy shit, we're pretty old. And in that you've got Bette Midler, Winifred Sanderson, Sarah Jessica Parker, Sarah Sanderson, Kathy Najmy, and Mary Sanderson, and Omri Katz.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I love that. So good.
Yeah. So that was cool. So did you know that Mary Poppins was considered a witch?
I did not know that.
So because she was filled with magic and chaos, and so she was considered a witch. So Mary Poppins was right back in 1964.
Yes.
Yeah. So
oh my God, of course. Also, The Craft.
The Craft, yes.
Right, one of my favorite movies.
1996.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then we also have Practical Magic, 1998. And I think they remade that too. They've just remade that.
Nicole Kidman, right?
Yeah, Nicole Kidman, Sandra Bullock. The Witches, 1990.
God,
that was Angelica Houston. So that was really cool.
And can we just high five to Angelica Houston? I loved that woman. Addams Family and Witches, the original Roald Dahl. Just such an amazing and that's like naming very, very few amounts of her career, right? And she was so great. Did you like the newest Witches that came out with Anne Hathaway with the giant split mouth? It really freaked me out. Oh, you haven't seen it?
Didn't watch it.
Oh God, it really scared the living crap out of me. If anyone has seen the newest version of Witches with Anne Hathaway, let me know in the comments, because seriously, it freaked me out.
I'm not a fan.
Because she comes out with this whole, like, she's a great actress, fine, the movie was fantastic, but she comes out with this giant split mouth thing, and this kind of like this what do you call it, like devil tongue kind of like thing, like the black Spider-Man guy coming out. I can't remember his name, but
Venom.
Venom. Yeah, that's what it looked like, and it really freaked me out, and I literally watched it and went, oh my God, and I turned it off because I was like, why is her face doing that? Why is like You know, like, yeah, really scared the living crap out of me.
That's so
I did
funny.
not like that at all.
All right, what about, remember the Witches of Eastwick?
Oh,
Can you remember
yes.
that? Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, Susan Sarandon, and Cher.
Yes, 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 yes. 1987.
Yeah, there's some.
Oh my God. I love that. This is going old school now. If anyone else remembers this. If anyone else remembers this, you know, take us back.
Yeah, so what else is there? Let me have a look. I'm going through this whole list.
Well, then you've got like you've got Blair Witch Project, right?
Oh,
What's
the Blair Witch Project, yeah. Which I just found, like, honestly, I didn't rate that movie. It was just like a bunch of kids. The screen just would not stop. It did my head in. It was just constantly moving, blurring, and faces. I'm just like, oh, it just pissed me off, that movie. It was just not my favorite. So yeah. So I'm just trying to think. But then we're going to go back to, so which movies are basically like in pop culture, eh? They've just been around for so long. Like,
oh my God, Wizard of Oz, anyone?
Wizard of Oz, I was about to go. Wizard of Oz is in 19. Have a guess how old Wizard of Oz is.
Oh,
it's insane.
Well, Shirley Temple, right? No, Shirley Temple? No.
Not Shirley Temple. Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah.
The wee beautiful little munchkin that was in it.
And the horror that she went through on that movie, but we won't go into that
either. 1950s?
39.
Oh, no way.
39. Yep.
Oh my God.
So
really?
Crazy.
Dorothy.
Is, what's her name? No, I was going to say, no, I was going to say, no, I can't remember her name. Oh, I can see her face, but yeah, what's her name?
This is menopause, everyone, okay?
Perimenopause.
This is what it
is.
Brain. Okay? Just know that it's not us. It's literally just what we've gone through. Dorothy Gale.
Dorothy Gale. That's not who I was thinking.
Oh, no, Dorothy Gale's the... Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. No, that's not.
What's her name? Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ, just... Why can we...
Jesus Christ, Lisa, what are you doing? She's useless. Judy Garland.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry to anyone that's watching this.
Okay, all right. So I went into a little bit. So I mean, so those movies are great. You know, I mean, like there's witches and all sorts of movies. Like on, you know, you got everything from the Vampire Diaries to the originals. You know, there's a lot of literature out there. A lot of, you know, books written. You know, they're very, very popular as like women's contemporary. What do they call it? It's kind of like where they'll have like a little cutesy witch shop, and then they'll go in, and then all these adventures happen and stuff like that. There's an actual name for it, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of books and stuff and romance and stuff that are written about, you know, the whole witch stuff.
Sure. Witches are massive in the romance writing industry, right? And like, I guess what fantasy kind of genre as well.
Fantasy, you got the sorcery, everything like that. You know, they pretty much kind of come into a lot of different ones. But I kind of went into like, what were the first kind of movies made? What was that method? Tell me, what did you say?
Sorry, I beg your pardon. I'm just looking at the comments at the same time. Wagsy says Mary Poppins author P.L. Travers was born Helen Linden Goff in Maryborough in Queensland.
Oh, wow. There you go.
I know that. How very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. That's interesting.
Love it. That's I was like, wow.
Cool.
Sorry, carry on.
Tell us your favorite witchy movies.
Drop them in the comments.
So one of the very first witch movies, which was an early French silent film, which featured a witch named Carabosse, and this was done in 1906.
Okay.
Yeah, so this story is based on a 17th century fairy tale, and included other magical elements like ghosts and kind of, you know, mystical beasts and stuff like this. Yeah, it was kind of cool. So that was like the first one that was literally called The Witch. And cool. Then in 1922, it was called Haxan. So I think this is German, I think. So this was another silent film, but it was called a horror essay film that investigated the history of witchcraft. It was written and directed by Benjamin Christensen, and the film proposed that the witch hunts were fueled by ignorance, hysteria, and often related to mental illness, which we do. So that was back in 1922. So those are like the earliest kind of known, kind of witch kind of stories. Oh, Haxen, sorry, is he was Swedish-Danish horror film.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah. So
wow, interesting.
yeah, really,
realize it was that
really, really interesting. So right back then, same as like Frankenstein, we always look back into kind of what were the earliest ones portrayed and, and that kind of stuff. So it's, real.
Oh, that's interesting. Wagsy says Mary Poppins Festival is the 28th of September. Maryborough. I can't say it. Maryborough, Queensland.
Oh,
you got to get up there, girl. You're in Melbourne.
Is that
28th of September? It's already been, unfortunately, but you could smash that next year. That'd be pretty cool.
I didn't even know it existed. Mary
That's very cool.
Poppins Festival, Maryborough.
That's very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And Mira says Bell Book and Candle. Is that a book? Is that a movie? Sounds good. I feel it sounds like I need Bell Book and Candle. Sounds like
is that the new book Bell that's come out? Because I've got that. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. This is my biggest concern right now. I'm interviewing authors and I'm like, I'm not a reader. I need the movie. So she's the reader. Wagsy says you got it right. So bang on me. Hey, I love this sort of stuff. We come from an acting and a writing background now. We both come from acting backgrounds, but Juliet's gone into writing now as well. And it's so cool to understand kind of what's influenced these movies coming out, these TV shows coming out. And there's a huge push in witchcraft at the moment, this whole sorcery witchcraft, kind of garden witch, herbology.
This is magic fueled kind of stuff, isn't it? It's good that they've kind of brought out these these other TV shows like The Good Witch and and that kind of stuff. So it shows a different side of it. But people that are part of the pagan community, the witchcraft community, they come from all sorts of backgrounds. People just think, they're all these like hippies and long dresses and they all run around and they do this, but there are people that are in business and all sorts of things that, all sorts of careers, lawyers, bankers, just politicians that are all part of this industry, but all part of this kind of religion's the wrong kind of thing to call it, I think. But so you just never know. You never know kind of who's doing what. And so
I love it. It's interesting. And we've got a few members that are actually into this sort of witchy space as well. That delve into all sorts of like, the medicinal, the healing, spiritual stuff as well. Yeah. Wagsy says, if I hadn't seen a Yowie, I probably wouldn't have been there. Send us your account, bro. Send us a message. Like we want to hear your account because that's up in Queensland. We've been to Queensland. We went to Kilcoy and checked out the Yowie kind of sightings up around there and talked to a few people. So send it to us. Very, very cool.
Yeah. Queensland went through a whole whole kind of bunch of new sightings and stuff up there. So it's really interesting.
Massive amount of sightings going on.
When was your sighting, mate? Tell us when your sighting was.
Yeah. Fill us in. Mira also says it's an old movie with Jimmy Stewart. Oh, Bell, Book and Candle. Okay. We shall delve. We shall delve. Delvey.
Have a look.
She's Google searching. She's searching.
Wow. 1959. Yeah. Book and Candle. American supernatural romantic comedy. Wow. Okay. I recognize his face. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I have to try and find that.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, it sounds awesome. Cool.
Pops up, yeah. And then
Yeah.
what else pops up? Bigfoot, finding Bigfoot.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
just kind of see. What do you think? Has anybody seen the new? I'm probably going to start off a lot of controversy here, but the new Wizard of Oz movie, Wicked, with.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because I was going to bring that up next, right? So, have you seen the stage show of Wicked?
No.
The musical, right? So it's freaking amazing, right? The stage show Wicked is amazing. I saw it over in London, one of the first shows. It was phenomenal, amazing musical pieces, phenomenal dance, costuming is amazing, all of the above, right? And me coming from a space of, I've done a lot of stage shows. I was professionally on stage for a couple of years, and I just kind of go, man, you're killing me with this new version of Ariana Grande and the other chick on screen, showing it to our children who are obviously struggling with eating disorders.
Yeah.
That's where I got to with that. I didn't even get to the point of watching the movie.
Yeah. I can't do it. I can't do the movie. Like, I know.
What part of the movie can't you do?
I don't like it. Nothing about it appeals to me at all. Like, it really doesn't. But I've also never been a Wizard of Oz fan, to be honest. Like, I've never really kind of been in that I know it's not a Disney thing, but that whole Disney themed kind of style. Sure. Yeah, I've never ever liked that kind of stuff. And just the fact that the whole screeching all the way through it, singing, I mean, I just can't do it. I mean, singing. Yeah, look, and I know thousands of people, millions of people love it, but I can't do it. I can't. There's something about the whole thing that just turns me off.
Wait, of like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, like the original, or is it just
that movie? Just even seeing the shorts and listening to the fucking songs. Excuse my French. When they come on the music thing, like I literally turn them off. I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it either. And the suckiest thing is I love Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. I've watched every version of that, like back in the day sort of version, and all the spin-offs and everything, right? And I love it. Judy Garland's amazing, Toto, like all of the above. And then the stories that go behind it, like, with the woman that played the witch who was painted in green, like toxic paint, and like what everyone's been through, and same with the Tin Man and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
All of the stories and the other bits and pieces that go behind it. But man, this new one, I'm just like, I don't
understand why people are obsessed with it. I really don't. I have no idea.
I don't get it. But I also don't get the musicals. No thanks. Sorry, I can't. Stop it. Stop putting funny comments in. Mira says, shit, my age shows. Us too, girl. Us too.
Sorry, I was brought up with Buck Rogers, so and the original Battlestar Galactica. That was me. Bonanza. There you go. Shows my age.
Bonanza. Oh my gosh, yeah, no, I struggle with the new age stuff massively. And now you've got K-pop Demon Hunters, which
God, Abby loves that. But the thing is, what I find about this movie and the bits and pieces that I've seen and heard about it's just a girl being cruel to another girl. It really is. It's just like, it's such a nasty undertone to the whole movie. And I think that's a big part of why I don't like it. And it's, this is the story behind it. This is how she turned to look. I mean, it was just like Ariana Grande's character is just cruel, and it's seen as such a cool thing to do these days. And I don't like it. I don't know if that what continues into the movie, but that's what I get from it. And I just, Yeah, I don't like it. I hate this where it's got girls against girls in these movies, and it's just and they just play on that, and then they gloss over it to make it, hey, this is okay type thing, and it's not.
It's horrible, 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 but then don't worry because they're friends. And it doesn't happen like that. And with what's actually happening in society, with the amount of girls that are going through some major, major issues, including the rest of that, which we're not going to say, but we all know what happens with, incestual bullying all the way through their primary school, intermediate, high school lives. We've had kids ending it left, right, and center. And it's a horrible thing. And then you watch things like this with obviously like major eating disorders, because Ariana Grande looks just skin and bone in the fact that this is even on even on the movies is horrendous. Like I couldn't even watch her doing that. And then the theme behind it is just divide and conquer, right? Division, 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 anger, 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 be horrible to each other. And then you like look at the witch story throughout this whole podcast that we've just done, this whole episode that we've just talked about, in the witch, the healers and these amazing women that were actually there to help their community and see things and use their gifts and everything else, into Salem witch trials for 200 odd years of killing and destroying these women and vilifying them. And now you've got Disney, which has been doing it for years as well, creating this storyline.
Is this a Disney film? Is that? I don't know if it's Disney.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's Disney. I think they're all Disney, aren't they?
Well,
the stories all come from Disney, right?
Yeah.
And then you grow children, right? You grow girls, take the boys out of it altogether. I've got a 19-year-old girl, you've got a growing up girl, and now a granddaughter that are watching these movies and these stories that are so part of our society, that are going, oh, well, this is just how I treat people. Oh, this is just part of what it is, with no concept and no real reality wrapped around it, right?
Yeah.
That's the part that drives me freaking batshit.
Just the bullying and how it's like accepted.
Systemic bullying and horrible behavior. And then in turn they go, why is my life so shit? Well, it's because you've created that as your reality, right? Whatever you feel, and the emotions that you put out and what you say, these are spelling, right? How we write our words, creating spells. Whatever you put out into the world is what your reality will be.
Powerful. It is very powerful stuff, and that's it. And that's where I think some of that fear came from, is because this is what they were doing, because it is known as being powerful.
100%. Well, all we have to do is look at look at the version of what we know the Druids might have been doing, right? And like those are obviously guys, but there was this whole other side of feminine, powerful, what we call witches now, that had like so much power. And all you got to do is look back into like Greek mythology and Roman times, where they were using oracles to tell them whether or not they should go into war. They didn't get vilified. In fact, they were like held up on pedestals because they were amazing, and they were
they were also very expendable, and that's it. It was
women are always expendable though, right?
Yeah.
Because you can just
going on our rant. Right, guys, we do love you guys. It's fine.
Okay, so a couple of comments before we wrap this puppy up, because that was so much fun, and we love boys. we love boys.
We swear we do.
We do. You guys are great, and we've got so many amazing friends in this community, in this industry that we're working in, like truly wonderful, wonderful people that have come into our worlds through this kind of space, and just gone, you guys are just the best. Like, we absolutely adore you people, boys and girls. All right, so Indescribable Octoman says truth. Word. word, brother. Funny. Mira says, okay, ladies, I have to say I fell at home here, old and stale or not. What? And I have to think I'd have not found you if it wasn't for the passing of our buddy. Oh, so She's talking
Oh,
about Dr. Jeff
Jeff.
Meldrum, and you obviously feel at home with us, and we love you for that. And
Yeah.
Jeff was, so
Such
influential
a
in
huge
this
loss.
space. And
But yeah.
and we wish Juliet and I both wish we had the opportunity to sit down and talk with him, and have that meeting time. And unfortunately, we've missed out on that, and that's gut wrenching for us.
And Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall
Yeah.
comes to Melbourne 2 or 3 times a year, and she used to do talks. And like, there's been 3 or 4 occasions where I've tried to get tickets to go and see her, and they've sold out. Bang, like gone. And just 2 massive losses within the community.
Absolutely. And there's massive gaps where these people were so influential that they've left, and huge holes to fill. In saying that, there's so many amazing people that are stepping into that space. And the more we all step into this space, the more we share that knowledge and that evidence and the research and all of this sort of stuff, we can fill those holes up. And in fact, we can honor their research and their work by moving forward, right? And
I mean, it's not a case of replacing them. It's a case of, just being that next person in there that's going to do amazing things. And like I said, there are already people out there doing amazing things that don't get noticed for, and we're here to let people know who they are, whether they be men or women. We don't care. It's just like, if you're doing something amazing in the industry, we want to know about it. Tell us so we can spread the word as well. So
absolutely. And in saying that, if you know of someone or you want us to interview someone, drop it in the comments, drop it in the comments, send us an email, jump onto the website, send us an email, let us know so that we can go and hunt that person down, potentially stalk them and force them to come and join us.
Hey, come join us on a live, guys. Like, we're here every Tuesday. Come and join us on a live. Even if we get 5 or 6 people, we don't care. Let's find a topic, let's discuss it, and let's make everybody go, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And saying that, if you want us to cover a topic, let us know as well. We're totally open to whatever you beautiful people want us to go and delve into. And I've been doing a lot of research on treasure hunting lately because I really want treasure.
I love the whole magnet fishing and like the rivers and stuff, and the stuff that they bring out. They're constantly bringing up guns and swords and oh damn.
That's so cool, right? So I put my 4-year-old to sleep the other night telling him a story about a Japanese war ship coming over and raping and pillaging and all that sort of stuff and stealing all the treasure, and he fell asleep, and I was like, but I haven't even finished the story. Oh yeah. So I'm totally into the treasure hunting space at the moment. So if there's anything you want us to cover, let us know. Juliet, have you got anything to wrap it up with? Is there anything important that we need to
so what are we doing next week? This is me. What are we doing next week? Because we're doing more Halloween stuff, aren't we? We're doing a Halloween month.
Well, it's Halloween month. It's spooky month.
Spooky
dooky month. Next week, we are doing movies inspired by Halloween and all the weird shit that happens on set, on stage, in the background. Oh, God, I love that. It's so much.
Not so good stuff. And
and there's a lot of like curses and supernatural stuff that happens on those film sets and stuff. And everything kind of connected to the spooky Halloween sort of space.
It's not just Halloween movies, but just kind of like, look at the mummies and,
The Exorcist, anyone?
Tamanaki, why did he make a mummy movie? I don't know.
Tom Cruise, everyone. Tom Cruise came to New Zealand and made The Last Samurai in Taranaki, and so now we call him Tomanaki.
Tomanaki, Mr. Tomanaki.
It's pretty bad.
No, it'd be good. No, it's I'm kind of a little bit, I haven't really seen what's been going on in the news. Apparently there was a photo taken of our special spaceship coming to visit us.
Oh my God, Atlas is joining us in November as well.
So, if anyone there has any connections, we'd love an interview. That would be great.
With Atlas? With the aliens on Atlas?
I did see a woman giving apparently she's speaking to them, and apparently they're coming down. They've got a bit of an attitude, and they want to. I'm like, okay. What alien wouldn't have an attitude coming down here? They'd be like, you guys suck.
Oh, yeah. Apparently it's just come past Jupiter or something. So I'm like, this is look, in all honesty, okay, in all honesty, we've actually got an interview coming up with Scott from Mysterious Planet. And if you haven't seen his Instagram page, please go and jump on there. I think he's on YouTube as well. He has got his fingers on the pulse with all things UFO disclosure, all that sort of stuff. And man, I can't wait to talk to him about Atlas. It will be before the designation time, apparently the designation date, hopefully. Otherwise, that's going to be really shit because like, you know, as the rapture was meant to happen in September, I was like, but I've got a party going on and I want to eat.
We're too busy for this shit.
I don't want that to happen right now. It's bad timing. So
it's just going to be like Independence Day. Will Smith, we're going to walk out. We're going to be like, okay. I'm like, I can't deal with this today. I'm going to go.
Honestly, I think I'm more concerned that it's not a friggin' spaceship. It's a giant fucking asteroid and it's going to come and destroy us all. Do we not give two shits about this right now? Like it's moving pretty fast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah. Is there actually something out there, or is it a pile of shit?
Well, we know we can't trust NASA, right? We can't trust NASA. We know that NASA doctors bloody photos and imagery all the freaking time anyway. And apparently I'm in fucking space because my hair's floating around. Come on, people. International Space Station 101. That's my rant for NASA. But
like you're saying, where's the cameraman? Where's the cameraman?
My biggest issue.
I left it behind.
That's my biggest issue, right? The moon landing. What the fuck happened to the cameraman?
And then the president called them, was like, hey, bro.
What happened to the
astronauts? And then the new astronauts have just come out and gone, we're finally going to be able to go to the moon for the first time. I'm like,
wait.
What?
Wait. Hold on, you.
Wait for it.
Hold on, you. They're definitely slipping up a fair amount at the moment. Funny.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of comments before we wrap this up real quick, all right? Indescribable Octoman says, oh, I want to find gold.
Yeah.
Me too. Mira says, check out the Cotter family YouTube. They hunt as a family, shark teeth and fossils and treasure. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like I want to go to a string field, which is basically where the asteroids fall, and then you can actually go and find pieces of asteroid and stuff. There are string fields here in Queensland and and stuff. And I know there's places in the States where you can get people take you out and you basically get your little metal detector and off you go and can find a little piece of asteroid.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, we're totally going to do that because I just want to grow something on a petri dish. Is this? Yeah.
I like that guy that's growing that on that.
Just want to grow something on a petri dish.
Growing something looks like something out of Venom, and he goes, "Oh, it's grown off of an asteroid. I'm growing it. It's getting bigger." And you're like, "Yeah, right, whatever."
Yeah, but also we should like do an experiment. The indescribable Octoman says, "Ha ha ha, he's a wacko." They're talking about Tom Cruise. Absolute whack job. Yeah, that guy's freaking cray. He says all the space stations or space agencies have been pretty silent regarding Atlas this week. And last week, I agree with you because all of a sudden the Atlas thing has just disappeared off everyone's radar. Did you like that? That was quite funny, wasn't it? Radar. He says just that one new photo series which seems weird. Yes, 100%. He just laughed. Ha ha ha. As an American, I've got questions. Yes. Foxglove Fairy. Hey, lovelies. Oh, what's going on, Foxglove? Love the name. It's so sexy. Yeah. So we're just bitching and moaning about NASA at the moment.
Welcome. We don't we?
Yeah, true story. What else is going on in the news at the moment as far as cryptids and the paranormal goes? Oh my God, the Conjuring house has just been sold.
Oh, I saw that. And what's the name? The doll's been removed from the other house.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So
Because the comedian dude Matt Rife or whatever has bought
brought
that
it.
house and the doll. But yeah, the Conjuring house is also being sold to a paranormal group, I believe, over in the States, which is fantastic. So hopefully it kind of gets a little bit of a revamp and everything kind of gets opened back up and you can go and do paranormal tours, because that would be pretty amazing to
take home a friend.
You could take home a friend. Oh my God. No, most
Friend
of
Dr. Man, how's your little friend? Is he still growling at you?
Oh my God, yeah. Did you get any like hands from underneath the
Yeah,
bed coming up to say
activity.
hi? Jesus, that really scared the living crap out of me, that story. And that was like, that wasn't even a whole story. That was just a comment of said story. So.
Yeah, tickle, tickle.
No, you never need to be tickled by a disemboweled hand. Disembodied hand from underneath your bed. That's not. All right, boys and girls, we're going to wrap this up. Do you have anything else you need to share, Juliet?
No, I will hopefully be here next week. That's all I can say if I'm not working.
Oh my gosh.
Like I had one day off last week, so this is my first day off in a while. So I'm back.
Well, I mean, that's why, like, we're really privileged to have you back here, mate. And you've been missed, and I've been trying my best to keep the fort down. And I hope you guys don't,
She's doing all right, guys.
She's doing
okay. She's literally had to book interviews without me because I can't guarantee I'll be there. So that's the problem with, having a new job and having to work.
Jobs get in the way of life.
Yeah.
So fucking
annoying. Get one.
But yeah, we do have some amazing interviews coming up, along with just our normal Walking in the Shadows podcast that we hit every Tuesday. I think American it's Monday evening for you guys and girls over there. So Tuesday for us down in the southern hemisphere, and then there will be interviews that will be released out onto YouTube that Juliet and I have done together with really interesting guests, the likes of the Shaw family that are very, very well known in the UFO industry. We've got a Chupacabra interview coming up with basically the son of the lead detective that was over there. It's an insane interview from Puerto Rico.
Not a few. I just can't even remember what half of them are.
Some pretty amazing interviews coming up. So those will be released really, really soon, coming out directly onto YouTube. And then again, like we said, if you want to be a part of these amazing live interviews and you can ask questions and get real-time answers from these people directly, not from us, but from our guests, all you have to do is get your astronaut over to cryptidwomensociety.com and become a truth seeker. Get yourself a membership, log in, get into the members portal and be a part of it with all of us over there. Real quick to wrap it up on some comments here. Let's just read these and then we'll wrap it up. Mira says, take home a friend. No, protection.
Bye, lady.
Oh God, hashtag Teflon. I am non-stick. Indescribable Octo Man says, oh hey, I just realized this. Oh my God. Oh hey, I just realized this about the hand from the bed. There was a mirror sitting behind the headboard.
Oh, that's never good. Cover it up or remove it completely.
He says, so like, reflecting where my hand was hanging when I was touched. Oh, fuck that. That's not okay. This is just making it worse.
Yeah, I would be removing Hint's mirror and putting mirror outside and covering it up.
That's
surround it in salt and
Oh God, I think you need to have a conversation with Juliet, okay? She'll tell you how to deal with that. I am out of this. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I do not want to be touched in a pharaoh's tomb in Egypt. I also don't want to be touched by something under my bed.
Or bringing friends home.
Oh,
your sense of adventure, Lisa. Come on.
No. No, I will go treasure hunting with anyone, but I will not be fondled by a hand under my bed.
Oh
my God, you people are just, oh God. Yeah.
Okay, so don't forget, for anyone newbies, please subscribe. That would be great. Subscribe and share. That would be absolutely fantastic. Come join the crew and find out all the mischief that we're getting up to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you everyone for dropping in the comments. You boys and girls were fantastic today. I hope you learned a little bit and more so enjoyed us ranting and raving.
As we do.
That, my friend, was what it was. We love you all to pieces. We appreciate every single one of you boys and girls for coming to join us every week. And everyone that's in our society as well. You are fantastic. You are the reason why we get to do this. And please share and subscribe and do all the good stuff so that we can keep doing and we can help more guys and girls join the party and support them in their research and all of that sort of good stuff.
And Mr. Harry Houdini Spider will say goodbye. Look how cute he is. And then again, as we're saying, this is an Australian puppy.
They're actually that big. True story. Life size. Life size. Oh my God. All right, we're going to sign off. We love you all. Big guys. Lots of aroha. And we will see you same bat channel, same bat time next week.
Yeah, no triangles this time.
None of those. We were not the Illuminati.
Oh my God, that was for pyramids, people. Pyramids. Which is part of the Illuminati. Oh, we just yeah,
every time.
Can't win.
If we get banned, it's her fault. Okay. All right. See y'all. Love you all.